I'm a librarian, and so I go through books and literature and connect children with stories. Are we going to? Thank you. And the world is ours. We're intergalactic, actually. I'll start, even though the PowerPoint's a little behind. Started reading a book called A Long Walk to Water. And I love this book. I'm a reader, I was a reader for the Sunshine State Awards, which means they give us 300 books and you pull 50 out of the pile and try to read them. And I pick up this book, I start to read it, and I couldn't put it down. At the end of the book, I read about children who've helped get water in the world. Let me explain. This picture on the right, the black and white picture, is from 1930s. These are children walking for water. You note the clothes and the containers they're using are pottery. And I want to also stop right here. And on my way here today, I passed a homeless woman walking down Main Street, and she was carrying a jug of water. And I thought, it's here too. If you were homeless and you were sleeping out last night, you would want water in the morning. That really hit me when I saw that. So this problem is from the past and it's present with us today. These three little girls on the side are my cherubs up here. Do I control this from here? Thanks. All right, Long Walk to Water. It was a project to educate kids about the importance of water. And we also wanted to let them know how they could help change the world. Our school out in High Springs, we're just past Mobane. Our school out in High Springs is a pre-K through grade 8. We're rural with moderate poverty. We have about 850 children. We try very hard to do things like solar grants for panels and things like this. We're worried about sustainability. When our children think about water, and these are some of the pictures I've taken of kids in water, we're thinking of things like Blue Springs, which is 6 miles from our school. So these kids have water all around them. They jump in the springs when they get home. We do have problems like this picture from the Gainesville Sun of eutrophication problems. So they're also very aware of the fact that water is not forever, and we do need to take care of it. But we wanted to encourage our kids to think about it. Here's the book, and The Long Walk to Water. Very short book for those of you who work with kids in reading, 4th grade through 8th grade, excellent reading. Gifted kids love it, struggling readers love it. It's about 120 pages, powerful book. It does tell some stories that are kind of harsh, but not in a way that children will get terrified. This is the author and the person the book is about, Linda Sue Parks and Salva. And our goal was to get 250 kids to read this book. So this picture was taken by my brother who worked in Sudan with the State Department. And this is a village in the Sudan that's been burned out. And this is where the book begins. Salva is a child whose village is destroyed and finds himself alone on the road in the Sudan. This is the current picture of Sudan. And he is one of the lost boys. He has a very hard path between Sudan and Kenya and Ethiopia in the book. And things like this pit viper and crocodiles and lions all are involved in the book. He meets good people and not so good people on his trip. And one of the things he says is, I'm going to honor the people that came before me and do good. Even though I've had people do bad to me, I'm going to do good in the world. He also shares this book with a little girl who is a fictionalized character and who represents the girls who carry water. This child in the book walks four hours in one direction to get water, 4 hours carrying water back. And for a good part of the book, she has to carry her younger sibling on her back. So that's 8 pounds for each gallon of water. So she's carrying 40 pounds of water. We started deciding that, yes, we would do this project. We bought 120 copies of the book. We started collecting jugs to collect water in. They started overrunning the library, so we used them on our displays, we built pyramids out of them, we put books about water out there. This was the first group of kids who read the book. They read it in one day. They would not let their teacher stop. She threw the curriculum out. They just continuously read. And they came back at the end of the day with these beautiful little stories. Dear people in need, I would like to help you raise money for water well, because I would like to see you all to live better in your lives. I know how much you all suffer and get hurt. I've heard about you all in a book called A Long Walk to Water. It's time for that to change, and my whole school wants to help raise money. We already have $14.53, and that was just one day. So we decided we would try to raise wells. Here's another story. We also decided to teach kids about water in our own world. And so we took advantage of the water project that was going on at the University of Florida and the museum. Took 250 kids and did a wild and crazy scavenger hunt throughout that entire museum for them to find out important things about water. We're trying to change how they think. We entered the water tower competition for the first time, how to build efficient water towers. And this was made out of recycled materials. We conducted lessons in math and science and things like how much water do you use and how much water can you save while brushing your teeth and auditing your water at home and polar meltdowns. All of these were lessons that went not just in the library but in science and math classes. We went across the board with the teachers on this. We had, on the day we did Water Day, we had speakers come out, and this looks horrible, but it's a sundae made out of ice cream and ginger ale and gummy bears, and it teaches about aquifers, and they get to eat it when they're through, which they like. We had alligator people come, we had snake people come, we had people come talk about the history of water in Florida. This young lady was a Peace Corps volunteer from the University of Florida who also went to our school. Our kids collected enough money to send her a small library in Tanzania, and she came back to say thank you and talk to the kids about what that's like. This was the kindergartners heard about this. We were focusing on 5th grade, and the kindergartners heard about it through their teachers, and one day this little group arrived in the library with $140 from the big banks and asked if they could walk too. We want to walk too. And we said, okay, you can walk, but you have to carry small bottles of water. So, and they did. On the day of walking for water, now, do these children look like they're in pain or what? These are 6th, 7th, and 8th graders here, because everybody started jumping on board. The books started going out all over the school. Not just the 5th grade, but everybody started reading it. And we discovered that 1 gallon of water is 8 pounds, and that if you brush your teeth and let the spigot run, you are wasting at least 2 gallons of clean water. So we started a real push to please turn off the spigot when you brush your teeth. But when these kids carried this water around, that's only 2 gallons. That's not the amount of water that child was carrying for 8 hours or 4 hours. And they were having a hard time making it around for half an hour. Changed how they saw things. These are our big kids working with our little kids, which really one of the older children wanted desperately to walk with the kindergartners. And you can see their little bottles of water. It's the school turned out. It was a voluntary project. If you wanted to walk, you got to walk. No one was making you walk. And there's our little girls at the end with their multiple jugs of water. And the water, by the way, was poured on our garden and the school, and the jugs were all recycled. So that was good. We raised $2,200. And we put our money through the Rotary because school teachers are not allowed to process money. And so the Rotary stepped up in High Springs and said, we'll do this for you. We thought we were raising money when we started from Sudan. But we ended up putting our wells in Cambodia. I would like to say that at the end of Long Walk to Water, Saba shows up at the end of the book and meets in the book the fictionalized little girl. And he's putting a well into the village. And she walks up to him and says, why are you doing this? And he says, because you need water. And when they put the wells in, they require that everyone is allowed to have water. No one buys it, you give it. You cannot turn anyone away. You maintain the well. You build a school, and you allow girls to go to school. And that's all part of getting a well. So we put 280-foot wells into this village in Cambodia, which was a huge thing for us. This is what we came to the conclusion here. We're more alike than we are different. We share the same sky, and boy, don't we all need water. Even that lady walking down the street this morning. So this was our little, she became our theme. Now, it doesn't end here because our school was nominated for the National Building Competition, and we were able, partly because of Long Walk to Water, and partly because our kids were walking around the school saying, there's a leaking faucet. We convinced the principal to turn off the irrigation system. We saved 70% of our water use in 1 year. So the EPA acknowledged that. Perhaps the most important thing right here are these children and villagers who are the ones that we provided the well for. This was their water before. The little green bowl is their pond water, and this is the well water we have now. And they have a sign saying this well was given to us by the children of High Springs, which means a lot to our kids. However, I don't know if this is going to work. This is sad, but I want you to see this.
Make you realize that half of the world does not have access to clean water. Just carry a gallon, please, and do a lap. Julian, what happened to all your gallons you were hauling around? Just the garbage.
I don't do this for a living. What? I'm sorry. People in Africa,
Tell that to the little girl in Africa.
They gotta deal
Tell
with.
that to the little girl in Africa.
She ain't here.
I'm gonna tell her.
So the second year we did this, we had 800 kids walk, and we raised money. But some of the kids had not any reason, they did not know why they were doing it. So my point is, it's not enough to say, here, go carry this water and walk. You have to build that emotional connection. And in our case, we did it with literature. At Rebane, you had people come out who made that connection for the kids. But they have to understand in their hearts why they're doing what they're doing and how we can connect with people. So it's the heartstrings. You've got to pull on those heartstrings and help them to see that not only are there people who need you, but you can make a change. And we've done this in our case with a book, in your case with people, and being able to say, I'm going to take something to help somebody else. And I think these kids respond so beautifully. So I hope you'll do this too. Thank you.
Oh, one more. There you go.